Hi, it's Alberto Lombardi, and today I would like to talk to you about this cool new product from Exonic that is called the AIRSTEP Play. It's actually one of the most valid aids for you to study on your favorite streaming platform like YouTube because it allows you to control your computer, your tablet, or your phone directly with your foot. Basically, you put it on the floor. I will hold it in my hands because it's more practical for you to see it. But you put it on the floor and pressing one of the switches, what you do is stop, playback, fast forward, rewind, set loop points, and deactivate the loop while you're studying. So you don't have to reach for the computer and take your hands off the guitar. You can keep your guitar in your hands, keep on practicing, and with your foot, you can actually control the video you're studying with. The loop function is super cool. I will describe it to you in a second. It's also wireless, so you don't have any cables running around and making a mess of your studio. Plus, the battery lasts a ridiculous amount of time. One charge for 300 hours. You have 5 multifunction switches. If you just press one of them, they do one thing. If you press 2 of them, they do something different. And if you press them for a little longer, they do another thing. And of course, it works both on Mac and iOS and PC and Android. Alright, the hardware is really rugged. It's aluminum, it has a decent weight, it's not plasticky at all. It has 5 nice feeling switches that seem to be very durable. On the back, we have a small antenna, which is obviously used to communicate with the computer or the tablets. Then we have an on-off switch that is obviously for turning it on. Then we have a 9V charging port. This is for the very rare occasions when you need to charge it. And we have a function switch that is basically for updates and stuff like that. Actually, I have right here another AIRSTEP, which is the regular AIRSTEP, that has way more functions. It's designed for a different purpose. This can control your rig, your pedal board. It has MIDI functions and expression pedal connection and switching capabilities, but it's a whole different machine. The first thing you want to do is obviously turning it on. And as you can see, this little blue light, nice blue by the way, not very bright and blinding, it's blinking. This means it's not paired. And I have my computer here, my laptop. I will show you how it works with an iPad later on, briefly. But I decided to use the computer, which is the main thing that you normally use to study, at least is the case for me. I am on screen recording, so I can show you how it works. You will need to use Chrome as a browser. The app itself works as an extension of Chrome. You cannot use it with Safari or Firefox or whatever other browser. If you don't know what an extension is, it's just basically something that you install inside the browser. It's a little app inside the browser. There's many and they do different things. This one is just the app that you control with the AIRSTEP. As you can see, I am on YouTube. And I pulled up one of my videos that I recently recorded. It's just an arrangement for acoustic guitar of a Jeff Beck song. Jeff just passed away, so I felt like making this tribute to him. And in the right lower corner, you have this little blue dot, circle. This circle is actually what allows you to open and close the app, which by the way you can do with the foot controller as well. I will show it to you in a second. Because the first thing you have to do is to pair the device with the computer. And how do you do it? It's really simple. You go to this little shoe in a circle right here in the corner. You click on it and it says not connected. Click and it opens the tab in the browser. It says connect. It will show you in a second. There it is. I say pair, and it's paired. And as you can see, the blue light has just turned steady. It's not blinking anymore. Now, you can leave this tab right here, or you can minimize it, but you have to leave it open. If you close it, you don't have access from the foot controller anymore. But it's not annoying at all, you just leave it there as a tab in your browser. We go back to YouTube, and we go back to the main page of the app, and let's just start checking out what this can do. If I want to just start playing, I just have to press this center button. There's no lag since when I press till when it starts, which is really cool. What I can do is also go back. It actually goes back 2 seconds, or I can go fast forward like this. You can actually use more than one switch at a time, or you can long press a switch. If you do that, you will obtain different results. So, let's say I'm playing back. If I press this 2, as you can see, the app goes forward more than the 2 seconds that it did when I pressed just this switch right here. If I press this 2, it goes ahead 10 seconds. Same goes for the rewind button. Let's say I'm playing it. I press this, it's 2 seconds. I press both, it's 10. As you can see, it rewinds by 10. If I want to go back to the beginning, I just have to press the first switch. Let's now say I want to create a loop to study a specific spot. I hit play. Let's say I want to work on the second chord. I press the switch, wait for it, press again, and the loop is automatically created. So this will loop continuously. If I want to stop the loop from happening, I can do 2 things. Removing it altogether, or I can toggle it off, on or off. To remove it, I just would have to press this button again, so I could make another new loop. Or, if I long press it, the loop goes gray, and the loop is removed. As you can see, it continues playing. If I want to work on it again, I long press it again, and the loop is again on. Now, let's say that this loop is really cool and I want to use it again, but I want to create a new one. I can store the loop, and I will show that to you in a second. Let's finish talking about the switches. So the central button, if you long press it, you remove the app from the screen, which is really convenient because you don't have, again, to reach to the computer to change something. Long press it again, and the app is back on. We can forward or rewind continuously, like this. So we go to the point that we want, which is really cool. Actually, one other thing that you can do, if you go here in settings, rewind forward, you have the finger touch, which is touching the app itself, that is set to 2 seconds, and you can change that to 1 second, 2 seconds, 5 seconds, and 10 seconds. And you can do something very similar if you go to the short press, 2 seconds, 1 second, 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Let's leave it at 2. And the multi-press. I leave them as they are because I like them as they are. There's a few more functions that I can activate both in the app and with the hardware, with my foot. The first one that is really cool is the speed. So if I press these 2 switches together, I can increase the speed of the video. If I press this 2, 1 and 2 actually, I can decrease the speed. So let's say I'm not comfortable learning this video at the speed. I need to slow it down. While playing, I can go back to 60% of the regular speed. Another thing that you can do with your foot is activating the metronome. So you just long press the first button, the first switch, the one that you used to rewind to 0, if you long press it, a click starts to play, as you can see. And if you go to the app, you have the speed. You can tap the speed like this, and you can adjust the speed of the metronome to the video. Let's say I want to learn the first chord. I play the video, I do my loops, I do all the things that I showed you. At a certain point, I will need to practice it. So I just turn on my metronome, and then I can increase the speed gradually to make my practice more effective. So let's talk about one more function that we have in the app that is actually not controllable by the hardware. But that's not really a problem because it's one of those functions that you set once and you forget about it, that allows you to adjust the pitch of a song by one semitone increment, a half step. So let's use my Little Wing tutorial, which many people told me I should have done a half step down like Jimmy used to play it. I did it in the conventional standard tuning, and if you have your guitar detuned to E flat, you can actually use the app to turn it down, so that you get the pitch that you want and you don't bug me in the comments. So most of the functions are accessible from the hardware, from your foot, but obviously all of them are accessible from the app itself. So we can increase and decrease the speed right here. We can turn on and off the metronome and change the speed and also tap the speed of the metronome. As we saw, we can change the pitch of the video, but we can also set loop points either by moving the flags or just by pressing the A-B buttons. We can also store the loop. Let's say I like this loop is one little bit that I will want to come back later. I can store it just by pressing this little folder here with a plus symbol. I press, I can give it a title like second verse or something. This is not the second verse, but whatever it is. And I can store it. Then if I remove it, just by pressing this X or with the pedal, I can restore it at a later time. I can open, and as you can see, I have it here. I click here, and here comes back. Another thing you can do with the desktop version of the app is you can favorite videos. So if you click on this little star, you can favorite the video and you can come back to it later. This little thing is one of the few that you cannot do with the mobile app. If I click on this little menu icon right here, it opens this tab. And the first thing I can do from here, I can go to one of my favorite platforms. Can be YouTube, Fender Play, TrueFire. There's a bunch of them. But also what I can do is I can load inside the app one of my local files. So it doesn't just work with online files, it works with the files stored on your computer as well. If I click on this local music here, I can upload inside the app one of my local files, the files that are stored on my device, and it's actually instant. It's not a real upload, it's just that it has to import it into the app and it's instant. It doesn't take any time. I say it open, and I have my song, and of course I can use all the controls as it was on the streaming platform. Let's do it with a video. We just hit local video, load file, let's choose one, let's go with this one, and the video is there, and again, works like a charm. Then we have my favorites, which are all the videos that you stored as favorites, and all the loops that you've stored. It will store both the loop and the video. So, as I did before, the video was Little Wing, it will recall the video and will also recall the specific loop points that you have set. So let me now show you how it works with mobile. There's a couple of functions missing, but something that I really like about using it with a mobile thing, a mobile device, is that you turn it on and it auto connects. So as you can see, the app looks exactly the same. The only difference is that with the iPad, it's not an extension of the browser, you just use it as a regular app. It's basically the same. The only things that are different is that you cannot change the speed of the video and the pitch of the video on the iPad. While I know that on the iPhone, on some mobile devices, you actually can do that, but still not on the iPad. They're working on implementing all those functions for the mobile devices as well, so it's just a matter of a short time. Another cool thing you can do with the AIRSTEP Play is that you can use it as a page turner. But first you have to turn it on in page turner mode. So you just press the second switch and you turn it on. And as you can see, it blinks green. And it auto-connected already to my iPad. But if it was the first time I was trying to pair them, I would have to connect them like I do with whatever Bluetooth device. If I now open a PDF on Acrobat, I can use the buttons and scroll down, scroll up. I can also page down, page up. And I can also continuously, scroll down, I was at the beginning, and scroll up, or continuously page down and page up. So this is really cool. As I said, if you are using this stuff for gigs and you have lyrics, it's awesome. It also turns the pages if you have scores. I think this is really a useful piece of technology because it allows you to study without reaching with your hands on the computer. You can keep your hands on the guitar while watching a video and learning from it, controlling it by your feet, which is really incredible. So I highly recommend you go and check it out. The AIRSTEP Play, go check out their website. I am Alberto Lombardi. If you haven't, I invite you to subscribe to my channel and also leave a like and a comment to the video. Until the next time, ciao!